In honor of that awesome French Open match, it got me thinking, what are the top 10 sporting events that we've witnessed in our lives?
Ooh,
Tough question, right?
this is a tough question.
But like, again, coming from the premise here, I was thinking about it. Today's French Open match was so high level. I genuinely think that's one of the top 10 events I've ever seen. Any game of any type. And I'd like to collectively come up with a list of 10 that we could and rank them together.
All right, we get so like, is this any sport like that we seen that or like what are the like
Something
the
we've been
parameters?
alive for. Don't have to be in attendance in person for it, but something you and I have been alive for. I mean, I'm looking for greatness. And I have a sneaky suspicion that I'm going to argue today's French Open match is higher on the list than you're going to want it to be.
All right, well let's name some games that I guess should be in this for sure. Because I feel like there are some that I don't feel like you can't argue about.
Does what's the very first one that comes to mind? Because there are two that come to mind for
Wa-
me without thinking immediately.
Warriors Cavs game 7.
Talk me through that one. That's not one of my two.
Really, like the block by James and the Kyrie on the wing and that I mean that series going 7 games.
It's in the top 10, I think.
I think it's in the top 10 for me.
It's in the top 10, I think, for sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was a Super Bowl that I'm missing here. There was
One
one.
of my, honestly, the number one non-negotiable for me is the Super Bowl.
Which one?
28-3 comeback, Brady.
Yeah, that was
I mean, that
crazy.
was just like, we're going to tell our grandchildren about this. Like,
That's
what
very
was
true.
that? Yeah.
That is okay. That's in there for sure.
And you had the Edelman catch, or was that Amendola?
That
Or
made the cut.
what's his
That,
name? That
no,
was
it was
Edelman, wasn't it?
yeah, it was Edelman.
Yeah, just like the fingertips, absurd.
Yes.
All right, I had that. I had a different LeBron themed game,
Which one?
the Ray Allen shot.
I mean, that's definitely up there. I was shit. The Bron going for 27 straight was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my
I don't
life.
think that game itself qualifies though.
That was more so a moment.
I think Ray Allen hitting the three that saved LeBron's legacy. Like, because you think at that point he didn't have a ring yet, I don't believe, right?
No,
And
he didn't.
you're coming off. They lost to Dallas the first year in Miami. If Ray Allen misses that three, like the stakes of that shot, and then he makes it and they go on to win, I yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
got to be on the
that
list.
that's in there too, for sure.
Okay. Spurs
Um,
game six.
can I say a sneaky one for me that would be in mine, but I don't know if it would necessarily be in the one we made together.
Yep.
That year, that Tiger won the Masters in like 2019. Like he won it again. He was coming back. I think it was on Father's Day, like in the first year after his father passed away.
Yeah. True.
And that was just that was insane for me.
Yeah. All right. Tiger 2019 Masters. I think that's totally fair.
Trying to think what else would be in here. What
So
about
there are some individual performances that could go on this, like you mentioned, Braun, Kobe 81. And I would add this one's probably the one that I would put in my top 10, I think. Kobe 60 on his final game.
Kobe's final game would be in there for me?
That's like a where was I when
Yeah,
watching this moment?
yeah. With that said, too, would the UNC Villanova championship game be in here?
It feels like we got to at least have one college basketball moment. That's probably the one, right? And
I
is there a
think
different one we're not thinking of?
I think that's the one that I think of.
Okay. All right. Chris Jenkins, Nova, shot is on the list. We have six on the list right now. Am I being greedy to say that I think this Alcaraz comeback would be next on my list at minimum?
So I got a question for you, and I'm leaning on you for this because I saw someone talking about this, and people brought up the Federer Nadal Wimbledon final,
It's a great
saying
final.
Was that better? I'm asking you then. This
The tennis was better today.
tennis was better.
The stakes and the drama, just given the history of those guys at that point and what they went on to be years later, you could argue very similar in terms of, and just the Wimbledon setting, I think. No disrespect to Roland Garros, but like the all white on the grass just feels different. Um, but no, a lot of people that I trust the tennis opinions of are saying this is the greatest match they've ever seen today, and
I
I'll
think
stand
it's
by that.
it was up there for me.
All right, I'm gonna put it on the list because it's my list.
Yeah, I love that.
All right, Carlos and Yannick. Couple other nominations. The David Tyree helmet catch Super Bowl.
So I would like another football game in over that.
Or is this the Michigan State?
No, it's USC Texas, the Rose Bowl with Vince Young.
Yeah, that came down to the wire.
That game was unreal.
Yeah.
That would be in there for me.
Do you think that's the it probably is the number one football game. But now that we're getting through that though, I mean, I would be okay with saying the Michigan State punt play is on the list. That was unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean the moment was great. Was that game?
And the rivalry.
Yeah, the rivalry. That
I mean, I guess it's a debate of moment versus game, which if it's game, I think that propels Carlos and Yannick up even higher. So that was 5 hours of gauntlet. You might have 4 hours of shit and a crazy play at the end, you know?
yeah. I'm trying to think about missing a football game too. Like, are we missing a Mahomes game? Like, what about the Mahomes the against the Bills when like him and Kelsey did like the 13 seconds on the clock and they like threw it and did the field goal and then won in overtime.
There's also the Alabama Auburn kick six.
That was insane.
But again, that's more moment than game. What about
Yeah.
Messi? The Messi World Cup? That was the most into soccer in a game I've ever had.
Oh, that's in there. That's got to be in there.
Messi World Cup?
That game was just incredible.
Yep, I'm fine with that.
Incredible. Every part of it. Mbappe, Messi, that's spiritual experience.
Yep. We don't have a baseball game. How do you feel about that?
Fine.
Oh, dog, now we're really getting this could be tough. We got to make some cuts. The Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl. The pick at the goal line when they should have given it to Marshawn.
When they
I mean, I hate being Patriots heavy here, but
I
like
hate
the
that game. I hate
dude,
that game though.
you hated the game or the
I hated
result?
I hated everything. I hated everything about it.
Right now, here's our list of nine, and I feel like we have a bunch of nominations we haven't put here. Warriors Cavs game seven, LeBron block. 28-3 Brady comeback. Spurs Heat game six, Ray Allen shot. Tiger at the 2019 Masters. Kobe 60 in his final game. Chris Jenkins, the Nova shot. Carlos Yannick today. USC Texas. Messi World Cup. How the hell are we gonna find a 10th here? We might have to make some subs too.
I'm trying to think what the 10. You already said you said the Ray Allen one. Honestly, the kick six might be up there.
I'm struggling with all the college football ones. Maybe I'm learning something about myself in the moment here where like I don't know. They don't feel like they belong to me. Like
Yeah.
I would argue the Boise State bowl
So
game is the greatest college football game I've ever watched.
so that was wild. If we do have to throw an obligatory baseball pick on here, when I close my eyes and I think about the greatest baseball like feat, I seen a great baseball feat, but there wasn't like an actual game. Like
Sure.
it was the whole series. Like that one where um I think the Red Sox were down like 3-0
Yeah.
and like the game was in like the 13th inning and they literally played later that night and like I think it was David
Yeah.
Ortiz blasted one. Like
Yeah.
That whole game series was incredible.
No, I'm with baseball's a hard one to put a singular game on, I think. That's for sure. Mahomes 13 seconds probably belongs here too.
It belongs over baseball to me.
All right, we'll put Mahomes 13 seconds, but I mean, so we left off the Michigan State punt block. We're okay with that?
Oh, it's Johnson Smith at the helm, yeah.
All right, is that our top 10? We don't think we missed anything here?
I feel good about that list.
The Malcolm Butler, I think, is the one I feel should be here right now.
Pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't care if it pisses you off. Shouldn't it be on the list? Are you taking
What
the Malcolm Butler Super Bowl or USC Texas?
USC Texas?
You standing on business with that?
Yeah,
This
I
might be
got
a little crazy. Why do I want to put like one of the Iowa Caitlin Clark games on here?
that's no.
Well, should we end the segment?
I I think so, yeah.
Okay. I'm serious though. I remember where I was at for a few of those.
Okay, I'll say the last thing before we end this one. A game that I know it was a regular season game, but that Curry against the Thunder was one of the greatest. That was more so a moment though, but that like the Mike Breen double bang, Curry for three, bang, bang. Like that moment was crazy.
Yeah, it
That
was
was a
crazy.
moment though, so I guess it's fair to be
If
off.
we extended this back before we were born, where would you have the Miracle on Ice on this list?
Probably like in the 19 range, just ahead of Wilt's 100-point game.
Okay, good to know. Are we going to put these in any specific order, or do you like the order that I have?
I kind of like the order you have.
Okay, so Carlos Yannick is the seventh greatest sporting event of all time.
Yes.
I truly feel that way, man.
Yeah, yes.